What's up, peeps? Hope you're well. So it's 2019, midway through January, and the cold spells are really starting to set in now. It's incredible just how it can change later in the year. I mean, usually cold snaps start before Christmas, but now it's certainly after Christmas. So that's not going to stop us from getting out fishing. So I'm actually just getting myself sorted to sort of go on a session tomorrow with Keith. But in the meantime, what I've done is I've watched through a couple of my old videos just to see, from filming. So I've not done any filming for a little while, so I thought I'd watch a couple of my old videos earlier. And I watched the one I pulled from the channel last year. Now, controversially, you've seen the I'm sorry video, and for the most part, that video, the beginning part was the one that people had the most concerns with. But I've addressed that. You can go and watch that. It's the I'm sorry video, and that was around New Year's time that I uploaded that a couple of weeks back. So yeah, I rewatched the video, and although it was quite a dark video, as I said before, there was elements of it I really enjoyed. So I thought what I'd do is I'll re-edit it, and hopefully you guys can enjoy the trip that I'm going to put up. So I've remastered it. You're going to watch it again in a minute, so I'm going to stick it up for you to watch. But a new one's coming tomorrow, hopefully. So I'm going to take the cameras with me, and hopefully I can bag myself a couple of pike on the bank with Keith. No pressure involved. So yeah, so this video is a remastered version of the session that me and Keith had, the 36-hour session last year. And looking back on it, I actually really quite enjoyed it, even though it was a little bit, I didn't really enjoy myself too much with the night fishing side of it, and obviously the geezer next to me having a 20. But on reflection, he's actually, I quite enjoyed it, to be honest. Any time I spend on the bank with Keith, I actually enjoy, even when I'm in a bit of a bad mood or I'm being a bit of a grump. But yeah, I decided to re-upload that and do a little bit of editing for it, so you can watch it now. Keep an eye out for future videos, guys. Like I say, I am going tomorrow, and hopefully we can bag a couple of fish. It'd be nice to get a big one. The cold snap's really sort of taken hold now, so I'm hoping that the big girls are going to come out on the prow and just sort of fish for a bite at a time. So stick some nice dead baits out, pump them up for the boils, and hopefully we can get a take. But like I say, hope you enjoy this video. It's been re-edited, and when I say re-edited, basically I've taken the first part of the video out. If you want to watch that, you can see that in the I'm sorry video. But I thought, for the rest of the video, it wasn't too bad. Although it wasn't the best of my finest hour, I actually, like I do with all my videos, enjoy it. So I thought I'd re-put that back up again. Yeah, I will say enjoy. And I'll catch you on the next one. Tight line and dead baits, guys. Thanks. Hello and welcome to London Predator Angler. Keep watching, and hopefully we'll have more fish like this little jack we got now. Absolutely fantastic.
You see the logo here?
Well, at least you've had the first fish, mate.
You've got to get one now.
Oh, mate, we're here for another day and a couple of hours, so it should be.
All day twitching tomorrow, we're definitely catching.
You got to stop using gloves. Yeah, pick him up and I'll move the net.
That's all right, that's all right. Because my hands, I don't want to get wet, man. I'll be fucking freezing, boy.
Oh, stop being a pussy.
Oh, well, there's one.
Oh. Right, turn his head towards me. No, towards me, his head. That's it. So you move the other arm back. That's it. That's better. Yeah, now pull that right arm back. Move the left head forward and move the right arm. That's it. That's it. Sweet. You can't. No, not really. If you had him gilled, you could have done. Where's your other net? Oh my god, what are you doing? Talk about getting a pickle. You know I'm filming all this. No, we're going to have fish and everything, but that's proper deflated me a 20-pounder right next to me. You had the whole lake and you go and fish right next to me.
That doesn't mean you would call it. It's one of those things.
No, just it deflates you a little bit, that's all, you know. But I don't know why they're not taking baits. I mean, that was sprat, was it? Yeah, you need to get yourself a proper latex net, mate.
Gloves on, mate, my fucking hand.
Yeah, my hands are freezing setting up the other rods. Fucking hungry as well. So how did it take it? Were you just bringing it in?
Yeah.
Well in, Keith. Is that little Jack? It's tearing off like Jack. Well in, son. God, they're on the feed, aren't they? It's alright, let him do his thrashing. Nah, not that quick. He's gone to salt the other one. Nicely hooked. Yeah, I can see it's nicely hooked. Well done, Willa. Little Jack there. Woo! Tell me when you're ready to lift him.
Got under the trouble, or just
Sorry?
quite well looked and come lifting back.
Yeah, I'll unhook him for you this time. Make it quicker.
Well, I think this one looks like the same fish.
Now, this one's a little bit bigger, I think.
It is a little bit bigger, yeah, right. Right, in this way. That's it. Was he well hooked or was he? What's he done there? Oh shit, yeah, he's proper deep hooked, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got one in a gill.
Nicely done, mate.
So, mate, it's
Should
just
have lifted him back in.
experience. Yeah, do you want to fish it over with him? You want to pop him back? Alright then, mate, here you go. Here's your fish.
Yeah, boy.
2 in a row. Got it on camera as well. On my head, hopefully. They're everywhere. I might as well just be your gilly today. Well, it's about 2:45 at the moment, and I haven't given many updates because really I'm a little bit demoralised. Not going to lie to you. So let's basically cover what's gone on so far in this session. Keith had to work all night and come pick me up. Unfortunately, the traffic halted him. He was at work a little longer than he needed to be. He come pick me up, and we managed to get down here a little later than plans. Normally we'd get here for about 7, but we didn't get it till about 9:15, maybe 9:30. Because we were here for 36 hours, give or take, I wanted to set my rod up, set my bivvy up behind me before I put the rods in. So I wanted to make that little bit of noise, and once the noise was done and everything was set up, I can concentrate on the fishing. Now, rightly or wrongly, normally I put the rods in first and then set up everything else, but I decided this time round to actually do it the other way round. So Keith being Keith, he put his rods out straight away, which was a good shout on his part. So we turned up at the lake. We got the swims we wanted to fish. So we got a nice area of water, the deep water in front of us. Spoke to the bailiff. Bailiff said that there was quite a few nice fish coming out on all the waters, and we could expect fish possibly up some sort of mid-20, sorry. And anyway, as we were setting up, pike were thrashing all over the lake. They were following fry, they were slamming fry, you know, they was attacking floats and all sorts, Keith's floats. So basically, what it is I knew straight away, I've seen this feeding situation before, and they're fry feeding, pretty much preoccupied with fry feeding. The place is alive with pike. Now, bearing in mind, I used to fish this quite a few years ago for other species, not knowing there were pike in this water, or not many of them. But me and Keith was flabbergasted, because we've heard rumours that there were loads of pike in this water, but we were flabbergasted when we realised just how much, just seeing it with our own eyes. It was literally the whole lagoon in front of me. And you'll probably recognise this swim, because this is the one where I had my 11 pounder last season, December last season. And you might recognise it from that video. And yeah, it was proper fizzing. The water was fizzing with pike, chasing fry and hunting down fry. It's amazing. I tried to capture some on video. So just to recap, as we started fishing, started twitching baits, tried to put the smallest bait on as we possibly can to sort of mimic the fry feeding. We was casting our float out, fishing at different depths, and we was twitching them. Once I'd obviously got the bivvy set up behind me, Keith was starting to do that from the get-go. And then a geezer turned up, got the whole lake to fish, and he fishes right beside us, literally shoulder to shoulder. The swims between me and him are a lot closer than what me and Keith are. And me and Keith ain't that far away, so use your imagination just how close he was. I wasn't too pleased. He didn't even say hello to me. Went straight to Keith, said hello to Keith. So I just thought, nah, I can't be doing arrogant people like that. So anyway, he started doing pretty much the same as we was doing, just out of chance, not necessarily watching what we was doing and copying, just out of chance he was doing it. He was using larger baits, I think. And as he was bringing them in, he had a couple of fish. He had one of about double to start with, and then the second one he had was a big fish. I could see, I was watching, because he's not that far from me. It was big. Keith originally said to me it was about 17 pounds, so he come round. I was watching him doodling around with the fish and sorting it out, and it took him a little while to get it sorted, but he managed to get it sorted. I think it was slightly deeply hooked. It was a big lump. I could see from where I was sitting, it was massive, and I thought, oh, here we go, he's had a big lump in a swim literally next to mine. And when I say next, I mean literally 2 rod lengths, if that. Anyway, Keith, he come round to us and asked Keith to weigh the fish for him. And yeah, it went over 20 pound. It wasn't 17, it was 20 pound 5 ounce or something around that, 20 pound 8 ounce. And I could see it had a massive head and a big belly from where I was sitting. I'm thinking, Jesus, man, that thing's been feeding up. But for whatever reason, I think he was twitching mackerel or something like that, or twitching roach, I'm not sure. Now, this water, you're not really meant to use freshwater baits, but I think he was using freshwater baits. Same with braided lines, you're not allowed to use, but again, I think he was using braided lines. So, anyway, I was going to go over and film it, just so I had a 20 on film to show you guys, even though it wasn't me, it was a capture. A little bit gutted, a little bit demoralised when you see a 20 come out next year, literally in the swim that you was fishing. You thought you had the place to yourself, you thought you had the lagoon to yourself, you got the whole lake. Trust me, there's hundreds of swims on this lake. And then he pulls up and rocks up and gets a 20. Not just 20, but he's had a couple of doubles and probably 6 fish in all. Now, it is what it is, you know. I'm not going to sit here and dwell on it too much. He's now gone anyway. And then a couple of other people had turned up who seemed to know him, and they was fishing around the cove area. I'll show you a little bit later on the lake in front of me, the view in front of me. But the good news is, as you may have seen, Keith's had a couple of fish. He's had 3 fish. He's had quite a few pike attacks. Only small jacks, I think up to about 3 pounds. I think he's biggest one so far. But it's nice that Keith's had 3 fish, at least. I've got to admit, I've been really demoralised. I've really been do you know when you have those days when you're just like, oh man, I don't know if it's gonna happen for me, sort of thing, because everyone's having fish around me except me. Now I've had my bait swiped at twice, but didn't actually grab hold of it, and practically I've been casting out and just pulling it back. But watching, I almost feel like I just want to film what I'm seeing at the moment, because it's incredible. You know, one of the pike actually breached right out of the water and like proper chasing the fry, and I haven't seen that since actually the very first time I ever fished down on the River Breed down in Rye and in Kent, and I actually see it for the first time in moonlight in between me and my mate's swim. This pike, we was float fishing, we was only sort of float fishing with night lights, starlights, maggots, that kind of thing, and this pike breached, and the way it chased the fry, it's like, it was crazy. It was the way it breached, and the same thing I just saw a minute ago, but obviously during the day. But yeah, I'm a little bit, I've got to admit, I've had my confidence knocked a little bit, and some of us as pike anglers, we do get a confidence knocked, because, you know, I consider to be a fairly good pike angler. I don't tend to catch many fish like I used to, and I don't tend to catch great numbers of fish. You know, I fish by fish. I'm not one of these quick hitters who catch one after another, a bit like Keith at the moment. That's the sort of line he's taken with his predator fishing, which is really good to see. But I'm not that kind of angler, not anymore. I'm nearly 40. You know, I just enjoy what I do. I don't take it as serious as what I once did. But yeah, so at the moment I've got a ledger rod out that's next to me. I've got a second ledger rod that's set up as well, which this one's fishing mackerel just in the margin. I think mackerel is what he had his big fish on, that fella. So we'll see. Me and Keith Keith's a little bit sceptical that we might not catch on ledgers tonight, possibly. Now it's 10 degrees, no, it's 11 degrees tomorrow. It's 5 degrees today, and it's not going to go below 5 degrees tonight. Now last night was -2, and I'm cold already, so I'm a little bit dubious. But I've got to admit, I don't enjoy night fishing anymore, especially for predators or any type of fishing. You know, I do a little bit of night fishing in the summer months with Keith for catfishing. I just don't enjoy it. I've turned into a grumpy old man. It's not my kind of cup of tea anymore. It's nice. I like getting out on the bank and that, and having a bivvy up and all that, but I just don't enjoy the cold. I don't enjoy it. I'm a fair southerner, fair weather, what is it, softy southerner, and fair weather fisherman. I don't care. People out there might rib me for it, but that's just me. You know, I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels that way. But no, Keith's doing really, really well, and I'm quite pleased for him. So he's had £8.10 last week, and he's had a couple of jacks so far today, and I'm sure he'll catch a few more by tomorrow at 4 p.m. We're going to be packing up tomorrow. It's quieting down a little bit. There's still a few pike attacking, but it's not like it was earlier on. So I think the plan for tonight is to get the 2 ledger rods out, maybe continue to do a little bit of twitching, hopefully in Twilight, see if we can bag a last minute fish before it gets dark, and then leave the ledgers out tonight, see what happens. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do the full night with ledgers out. I want to, but it's so cold, and I want to take my shoes off and get in my sleeping bag and that. And I know that if one of my ledgers goes off, I'm not going to be able to react to it as quickly as what I did when I was younger. And the last thing I want is to deep hook a pike, so I'd rather forsake that, unless I'm sitting up fishing for them, which I don't know if I will do because it's so cold. Maybe I'll sit and watch a video or something. Not a video, a video. You can tell I'm old school. I brought my tablet with me, so maybe I'll watch a film or something, or a bit of comedy program or something like Steptoe Son. I don't know. But yeah, maybe I'll come back to you a little bit later when we've got a couple of more fish or something happens. But for now, I just thought I'd give you an update as to what's gone on, because it is later in the day and I haven't really done any videos up till now, any blog entries. So stay tuned, and if you have any more fish, I'm sure you'll know about it. Okay, so while it's slow at the moment, just before it gets dark, I thought I'd show you the rig that I've been using today. Now, unfortunately, it's not catching for me, but this is something I've got great faith in. This is very similar to what a lot of people use, and keeps using it on a slightly smaller scale. The guy that caught the 20 earlier on, who caught 6 other fish, I think he had another one before he left on the other side of Keith, because he moved to the other side of Keith and he had another fish. I don't know what sort of size it was, but just to show you basically what I'm using. I know it's not worked for me so far, but I have great faith in it's the most basic and most uncomplicated rig you'll ever come across when it comes to pike fishing. So let's have a little look at it. We'll start through with the rod and the reel. So the rod is a 10'6". It's a boat rod. Now it was made by Eddie Turner, but unfortunately Eddie Turner, as far as I'm aware, don't make rods anymore. And I got this on a real good steel. Basically, you were sitting in a corner of a tackle shop, not being bought for whatever reason. It was the last one. It's very old school looking. I kind of like it. It's got, if you look at the guides there, it's got these old school fashion type glides. I mean, don't ask me what glides they are, because I'm not very good with those kind of things. You know, it's I think I paid about 40 quid for it, but it's worth about 150 at the time. As you probably heard, there's a pike just swirl behind me, chasing the fryer, as I've been telling you. So I've coupled that with you're only allowed to use mono on this particular venue. So I've got £15 mono on now. This is, no, sorry, £16 mono, which is the Fox camo steel, I think it is. It's the new version. It's really, really nice stuff. I used to hate the old stuff. It was really, really wiry. And on my bait runners and that now, I tend to use rigs. I tend to use line, braided and mono, because certain venues I know you're not allowed to use braided line. So for instance, my new club water, you're not allowed to use braid neither. It's one of the club rules. So yeah, that's coupled with that amount of line. Basically a 4,000 size reel, which is the Daiwa Ninja, which is really inexpensive. And let me show you the business end. Really, the business end is, it's a medium size Pike Pro stubby float. I've really been impressed with these floats. They're durable. They're so durable. I give Keith a couple of them. It's coupled with it's got a bead above it, as you can see, and it's got a stop knot further up the line, which is one of those Fox red stop knots. So you can use any stop knot you like. You could use power gun, whatever suits your fancy. I'm using the Fox stop knots. So I've got a red bead above, got a black bead below, and then I've got an egg sinker. Now it's not a Fox egg sinker, it's actually a Pike Pro egg sinker that goes with the float. So the float's 15 grams and so is the egg sinker. It's the medium size. I kind of like the medium size, although I do own sizes and all sizes of these floats, because I just think they're so fantastic. Then I've got a link lock swivel, which you can really, these are, I don't know, for years when I very first started I never used them, and I don't know why. You can take your trace off very quickly. It's really handy. If you've got a pike in the net or on the mat, you don't want it to be tethered to your rod, because you may step on your rod, you may hurt the pike. It's putting a lot of undue pressure on it that needs to be. You can also change your trace really quickly depending on what type of trace you're using. No, all you do is just twist it on. Absolutely fantastic. The trace is my own trace. It's 18 inches. I never use anything less than 18 inches, apart from if I'm paternoster fishing in shallow water, then I tend to use maybe a 9-inch trace, but the upper trace is longer than the 9-inch, so I don't want to get too technical with you. So 18 inches. This is the it's coated. It's made by Drenham. I can't quite remember what it's called. I think it's the 7-strand, but it's the coated version. 2 size 6 trebles, as you can see, and then I've got head first, a small little smelt. Now, because of the way these fish were taken today, although that geezer caught these fish on a bait that was fairly sizable, they're fry feeding, and the smallest bait I've got in my bag, unfortunately, is these little tiny smelt. So I'm actually trying to mimic what the fish are feeding on. It's not worked for me as of yet. I've been fishing with my head down, I'm not going to lie. I've had my confidence knocked on this session. Keith, he's full of beans. Like I say, he's had 3 fish earlier on, and he's not fishing too dissimilar from me. I think he's using sprat, and he's using a slightly lighter float setup. But other than that, you know, that's what he's catching his fish on. Finally had a fish. There we go. Little tiny jack. Probably about, I don't know, £2. Just before the night time, we batten down the hatches and I start putting my ledger rods out. This one come to a float fish smelt, static. I stopped twitching. I actually sat back and watched the float for a change, and that's what this one took. So it's really, really nice to get off the mark and have my first pike, because what a demoralising day. Hey, what's up folks? So it's 5 o'clock. I fished into Twilight up till dark with a float rod just in the margin, just twitching it again, letting it settle, leaving it 5-10 minutes and twitching it again. I think I was overthinking and overcomplicating earlier on, so it's a little conclusion as to the first day. Because the fish was just everywhere, I was twitching and twitching and twitching, trying to induce a take. A bit like obviously sink and draw, but I was using a float, and it just wasn't working. And I think what I needed to do is twitch it, leave it 5-10 minutes, and then twitch it again. You know, I did cover all aspects. I'm not saying I didn't do what I should have done, but yeah, I was dwelling on it a little bit, and I got to admit, I was like a little sulky child earlier on. I just lost my head a little bit, and I just needed a couple of hours to calm down. But I've had sessions like this before. This is why I know that sometimes they can end up being blank, especially that you go out and you do sort of 2 days, or you know, an overnighter or something like that with one of your good mates. You've probably seen one of my other videos, which I'll leave in the top right hand corner, a video called Lessons Learned, which was very similar. The pike were fry feeding, only one small jack was caught the whole weekend, but all we did was see loads and loads of fish, big fish as well, you know, taking fry and trying to hit, you know, small little tiny bait around the float. It was almost identical today, but if not more so, more fish, more pike attacks. It was incredible. It was a spectacle. It really was. It was like seeing, do you know, you see those bait balls in the sea on those Attenborough programs, where you see the sharks, dolphins, birds coming from above, and they'll attack the bait ball of sardines or mackerel or whatever they are. I think they're sardines. And yeah, it was like that. It was mental. I've seen pike chasing fry before on quite a lot of fry, but today was off the scale. And I can understand why people fish this particular certain corner or certain area of the of this lake complex on this particular lake. Yeah, I wasn't too pleased with that bloke earlier on. He came back again. I didn't see him pull into the next swim. Came back again and cast over one of my lines, because I recast my line into where he was originally fishing, and he wasn't now. He'd gone to another swim, started driving off elsewhere, so I thought he'd left. So I repositioned my bait, oiled it up, stuck some sardine oil into the bait, and sort of cast it a little bit further to the left of me. And he'd come back in that swim without me seeing, because I was obviously sitting in my bivvy, and you cast over the top and sort of caught my line, and I thought I had a bite. So I wasn't best pleased. Apologised to him, even though, you know, we could have both been in the wrong a little bit, but I could have lost my head, and I don't want to do that. It's not what I'm about. You know, he seemed to be a nice fella, but at the same time, you know what I mean, it's a big lake. I can understand you want to fish this area because this is the most productive area, but no, I wasn't too pleased. But anyway, it is what it is. I've got over it now, as you can tell. Not, but yeah, so yeah, it's kind of battened down the hatches now. Got my 2 rods out. I'll talk you through a little bit tomorrow about how I've ledgered them and what I did. Hopefully we'll get a fish during the night, and it's quite funny, it's the first time on film that me and Keith have both had a fish each, at least a pike each, so I can't complain. I mean, it was only a little jack, but you know, from small acorns, big oak trees that grow, I think that's the saying, or something along those lines. So I'm hoping that we've now got some big proper dead baits out on the bottom, and it would be so nice to get a PB. It really would. If there's anywhere I'm going to get it, it'll be in this particular place. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. So a 20 pounder was caught today. Sorry about the lighting. It's really difficult to get a decent camera shot But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna have something to eat, cook up on a ridge monkey, batten down the hatches, fish to a certain time. I may reel my rods in so I can get my sleeping bag, because I'm not going to get out in time to hit a fish. I'll end up deep hooking, and that's not the kind of fisherman I am. So I might fish to about 10, 11 o'clock tonight, pull the rods in, set my alarm for sort of 6 a.m, something like that, because it gets dark a little bit. It gets lighter a lot later. So it doesn't get early at sort of, it doesn't get light at sort of 4 or 5 o'clock. It gets late, it gets brighter, it gets, first light at sort of 7, 8 o'clock. So yeah, I might do. We'll see, depending on how I feel my chances are going to be. Because I just want to get in my sleeping bag and take my shoes off and change my clothing and just chill out and watch a film. The only time I'll get out is if Keith gets something of noteworthy. If he gets a little jack, there's no point. But yeah, thanks for watching, and maybe I'll see you during the night. If not, I'll see you in the morning. Take care, folks. Keep watching. Well, good morning. So I didn't have a very nice night. It was really horrible. I just didn't sleep at all. I was tossing and turning all night. This night fishing in the winter just does not suit me anymore. I think I paid my dues years and years ago doing this type of fishing, and I used to enjoy it, but not anymore. Now I'm turning 40. Next year I'm turning 40, and I just, there's plenty of 40-year-olds carpers, like proper strong-willed people who go out there and they probably catch one carp all winter, 2 carp all winter. But even for predator angler like me who likes to go out and catching pike, zander and that, they're just winter overnighters and fishing in bivvies and that just isn't for me. I did actually sit there last night contemplating. I was up and down all night, up and down. I was using the lure all night. I was tossing and turning. I couldn't get comfortable. My sleeping bag was slightly too small for me because I'm a big fella. So it was lucky I had my thermal cover as well. So my sleeping bag covered me like halfway before I could do it up on both sides, and then my thermal bag went over the top of me. My thermal cover went over the top of me, but yeah, I just couldn't. This flat lining bed chair, it's a lovely piece of kit, but I just couldn't get comfortable. I've never really had any problems in the summer when I've been doing catfishing sessions at getting some sleep in, but it's a long time, in the summer you've got the shorter nights and longer days and shorter nights. It reverses in the winter, and that was like 14 hours of darkness, and it just brought back a lot of memories, being up on the fens fishing for zander. Good memories, but also bad memories, tossing and turning. I was watching my iPad, I just couldn't get comfortable. To be fair, this is a 50-inch brolly and it's fairly quite low, even for me. I could have done with a 60, but the 50 was on sale and that's what I bought, with the intention that when I use it in the summer for catfishing I can get it into little tight swims and that. So yeah, I didn't really have a good night, and I'll be honest with you, I think it's going to be a long time before I even do an overnight for pike again, if I'm being completely honest, unless it's right at the back end or the start of the pike season. So early October, late March, I'm not prepared to do it. To be fair, the weather is actually quite mild. It didn't rain at all. It was sort of backwards and forwards forecast. There was going to be a bit of drizzle, but there wasn't any. I mean, it's about 8 degrees at the moment, which I really cannot complain about at all. So in terms of the temperature, I wasn't overly cold. I wasn't warm, but I wasn't overly cold. I couldn't complain. It could have been a lot worse. Anyway, that's my dreary night. That's my dreary night. Keith, on the other hand, I had a little chat with him this morning. He come and saw me before first light, and he had a fairly good night's sleep, because obviously he came straight from work the day before, and he was busy yesterday, proper trying to work hard to get some pike, and he done well. We had 3 pike yesterday, and then I had that 1 pike before last knockings. So yeah, I can't complain. We both had pike, 4 pike. Could have been more, and I'll tell you why it could have been more. I got up at first light this morning, which would have been about sort of just before sort of 6:30ish, 6:45. Recast my rods out, and then instantly, as soon as I sat down, my left hand rods rattled off. And this is ledgering, by the way, proper screamed off. Very basic ledgering setup. you know, just the lead, buffer bead and the trace. It was just no other fanciness to it. But I will be putting out one of my pop-up rigs a little bit later, so maybe I'll show you that. Yeah, and it rattled off. That was on a mackerel, and it must have been a small fish. I'll give it plenty of time to take it. I mean, it picked the bait up and ran with it like a cart run. Give the fish plenty of time to get the sort of bait in its mouth. I was hoping it'd slow down, but it didn't. Just kept pulling and pulling line off the spool. So yeah, closed the bow alarm, wound down, struck, felt the weight of the fish, had it on for about 3 or 4 seconds, and it came off. Didn't feel massively big, maybe 5 pounds. Might have been the biggest fish of the trip between me and Keith so far. Keith, he's just put his floats out. I can see him put his floats out now. So Keith's not been on this video far too much as of yet. So we're going to go into Keith's swim a little bit later and have a little chat with him, see what he's doing, see how he's getting on with the session, because it's just been my ugly mug you've been listening to. So hopefully, I mean, we're here till 4 o'clock. We'll have a really slow pack down. It's going to be a fairly warmish day. I don't think the temperature's going to change too much to what it is now, and hopefully we can have a couple of more fish. So yeah, I don't know whether to stick with the ledgers and put a pop-up on one of them, and that'll sort of, I can play around with the pop-up. I can sort of pull the pop-up, you know, it's a bit like a zig rig for anyone that carp fishes. It's like a zig rig, the way you can pay the line out, and adjustable zig rig that is. And I can sort of give it a little tug, give it a little movement, the undertow and undercurrent, and move it about. So yeah, I might put a pop-up on one, but what I'm going to do for now, while it's first light, is just put a float out for about an hour or two and just see if I can pick up a bonus fish. But yeah, got to be in it to win it, I suppose. But yeah, so I've just had a drop run, can't complain. Things are happening, but I ain't gonna lie to you, that geezer turn up yesterday and getting that 20 pounder really, it knocked me. It shouldn't do, it shouldn't bother me, but it did. It bothered me and it knocked me. I think it's because I'm so desperate to get one myself, and I'm not gonna lie, I want to win this competition with the boys, the Great British Pike off. But yeah, it is what it is. So I'm going to cook up some breakfast. The rods are out. Like I say, I'm going to put a float rod out, see if I can pick up that bonus fish, and yeah, we'll get back to you and I'll show you what Keith's doing, what he's been up to. Catch you in a bit, folks. Well, it's gone from bad to worse for me at the moment. Just setting up the ledger rod, just there, resetting it up. I put a pop-up smelt on there, just in the margin, because there's a pike just keeps swirling there chasing bait. So I've got it probably a foot below the surface on a pop-up rig, and it's just wafting around underneath the surface. But while I was setting the rod up, as you can see that big hole there, I don't know if you can see that big hole. Well, it was quite soft, my foot went through it and ended up my foot trapped between the bank and the wood, and my foot in the lake. But the problem is, it's not just my foot with my leg, it's my dodgy leg, the one that I've had a lot of problems with. So I'm just cleaning myself up now, and I'm hoping I haven't caused too much damage. Lucky I bought some extra clothing with me. Keith's given me some baby wipes, as you can see. I don't think I've caused too much damage. Thankfully it was soft ground, and yeah, thankfully it was soft ground and not yeah, soft ground and not sort of concrete or anything like that I could scrape my leg upon. I scraped it on the woods, but the wood's quite soft as well. Obviously it's really damaged. It's just gone from bad to worse for me this session, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's me being the way I'm being, or Keith had to come. I had to shout for Keith. Keith come running round, tried to help me up, because I'm a big fella. I'm, you know, 2-3 times his size. He helped me get up, put my seat bucket here, so I could just pull myself up, push myself up on it. But yeah, I don't know how I was going to get out. My leg was trapped for about 30 seconds while I managed to free it. But yeah, it's gone from bad to worse for me, really. It's about 9:30 at the moment. I'm having a slow, I've just made myself something to eat before that incident. I'm just having a slow sort of tidy up, not pack up, but tidy up, make things easier, like packing the sleeping bag and things like that away. So, but yeah, I'm just going to clean my leg up, and then go to ablutions, and then carry on fishing for the last few hours. If we get anything, I'll let you know. So I'll just pop round into Keith's swim. I've not really seen much of him on the trip. Well, we haven't seen much of him in the video. So I'll come round to see what he's up to. As you know, I've had a bit of a nightmare, but Keith's done not too bad. It's about sort of 11 o'clock-ish. So we've got a couple of hours left to fish. As you can see, Keith's doing what he was doing yesterday. He was twitching. You've had a couple of takes, haven't you, Keith?
I've had a couple of takes. I had one take on the float ledger and one take on this so far, but they're not really taking really well.
No, they're fry feeding, aren't they?
They're fry feeding, so it's very difficult to induce a take. And when I'm fishing sort of big baits, mackerel tails, on those two float ledger rods. And the difference today is that there's a lot more drift on the water, isn't there?
Yeah,
it
certainly is. Yeah, it's turned round. The wind was coming from sort of west to east yesterday, but now it's coming into our face as well.
Whereas yesterday we had to fish sort of half depth or just touching bottom with just the floats out. I tried that this morning and it just keeps blowing back into me. The line's getting a bow in it. It's not good presentation. So
no, it's hard.
Float ledger in now and those, hoping for a good fish, and then breaking all the rules and fishing a third rod, trying to wobble a smelt and then trying to induce a take.
Do you know what? We spoke about this morning, right? For 20 years, I've done nothing but keep to the rules with fishing. And everybody says they break the rules here and there.
I mean, rules are rules.
Of course they are.
We pay for 2 rods and we're using 3, but that's not a massive rule break.
No.
Yesterday, the fellow who were fishing braid, when it's mono only, because that's what I've struggled with this morning. I think if you're fishing like a floating braid, you get much better presentation if you're wobbling.
Of course, direct
I was
contact.
trying to wobble this morning on these rods with 18 pound sinking mono, and it was just...
You get direct contact, didn't you?
Yeah, it was awful presentation. So.
Yeah, mono's not the best in the world. I've got to admit, I've gone back onto braid. My best season ever in 2004 was when I had braid.
And he was using roach, I think, when it's sea baits only. So.
Exactly, yeah, he was using...
To their own, good luck to him. I mean, I don't begrudge anyone any fishing it, actually.
Well, I did.
Probably the opposite of Barry. I quite like them. I quite like seeing the fish on the bank £20 because then it gives me, I know they're in there.
It boosts you up, yeah, but you also got...
Put the pictures for him and lovely fish to see out on the bank, so good luck to the fella, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I get what you're saying.
And he obviously fishes here quite regular because he turned up and went, you nicked the peg that I wanted to get in. So he fished, if the fish are here and they're fire feeding, why would he go around the other side of the lake? He's going to, of course, come and fish next door to us, which he's entitled to. He's a day ticket. They're pegged, so good luck to him.
I totally agree with that, but also on me being a little bit selfish,
I was just jealous.
I am. I'm not going to lie. I am jealous. You know, I've not had a PB Pike since 2004, and when someone just rocks up next to you as you're casting out, and then they pull out a 20 next to you, it's kind of disheartening.
You know what he was doing, so there's no guarantee you would have called that fence. I'm only joking, mate.
Right, just remember this, guys, when he needs help on the bank. He's called me 3 or 4 times yesterday to come and help him with something. But I did need his help a minute ago because I fell in. Yeah,
As it goes, I'm a bit closer to the edge of the
yeah, yours is a bit more stable than mine. I've already explained to people watching what exactly happened to me earlier. So, but yeah, I'm doing something a little bit different, Keith. Like I say, they're fry feeding. They're chasing all fish all round in the margins, all round this area, you know, very close in, even under the rod tip sometimes. But I thought, you know what, I'm gonna launch 2 big, dirty, smelly dead baits. So I've got sardine on one, herring on one with herring oil. I've never really given oil a go, so you know it's time to prove itself to me. And the other one I've got mackerel with sardine oil in, and I just launched the 2 of them out towards that island. So it's well away from disturbance. It's something someone hasn't done as of yet. Everybody's fishing close in, so I'm just trying something a little bit different.
Although you say they're fire feeding, it's nowhere near as aggressive as it was yesterday.
No, of course.
Yesterday, and there was just shows constantly, the fire were jumping, like, everywhere. There's not just all over the sort of within 50 yards of the bank.
Yeah, the aggression yesterday on the fry, and they was literally attacking all around the floats, all around our baits. And like I say, the fish that were caught were obviously, you know, they were induced takes. You know, the pike have turned on those baits, but it's been very difficult. Even the guy that caught his couple of fish, 5, 6 fish, Do you know what I mean? On a normal day where the fish are not fry feeding like they were, he probably would have caught more. You know, it's not my style of fishing.
18 fish in a day is the most that's come out of it.
17 or 18 fish. So me and Keith was questioning yesterday about the amount of fish in here as well. You know, we had a matchman come up to us last week when we was fishing, and they was like, yeah, there's loads of pike in here, you know, we don't really like them in here, so on and so forth. But me and Keith didn't realise just how many were actually in this water, which is nice for us. But I don't know if I'll do an overnighter here again.
Yeah, I think I was thinking that last night. I think it does lend itself to turning up and fishing those short
day sessions.
Short feeding spells.
Yeah.
With maybe just one rod.
Yeah.
Wobbling and that. I know it's not your type of fishing, but
well, it can be.
five or six pegs.
Look, mate, I'm not shy in coming forward. You know, I'll quite happily turn up here with one rod and do half an hour in one swim. The problem is obviously when you got all your as you know, I'm a bit dodgy with legs and knees and stuff like that. But you also got to remember I've got camera equipment, and you know, I'll bring the kitchen sink even though I try and travel light. So what I've got to try and do is bring the same sort of gear I bring when I go Keston, so I can move around. But yeah, it keeps just, as you can see, wobbling in the margins, trying to induce a take.
There's the odd fish showing still.
Yeah, they're still showing, especially in your swim. I've noticed a lot in your swim around this area.
Like I said yesterday, it was every 5 minutes at least there was a fish show or fry scatter. Whereas today it's slowed up.
So what's happened to you today then? You've had you've had a couple of takes, haven't you?
2 bites. I've had one bite on whilst wobbling. I got a bit excited because it was the first bite of the day, and as it took the bait, I sort of struck into it. It was on for a couple of minutes, but it got down into the reeds down here. It may have only been lip hooked or something, so then it pulled.
But that's experience. You'll learn that with experience, mate. Even I fumble sometimes, but
You get a bit excited.
of course you do. Yeah, it's the take. It's the initial take.
The other one, as I was wobbling, I could hear the bait runner ticking over, and looked up. The float was gone, so sort of felt the line and
Just keeps it all rod and reel set up. His little 12-foot
struck into it. And there was nothing there. So.
Savage gears. I gave him the 10-footers to use for when he does his little hit and runs. I think they'll serve him well, the little 10-footers, because they'll be good for his type of fishing. What are you using?
So the real line's £15 mono. It's the one that everyone likes to take the mickey out of. It's
The Richwood one, isn't it?
The Richwood purple line, yeah. I mean, I like it. I had it on my cartwheels.
What size is that float? It's like 7 gram, isn't it?
7 gram with a little 5 gram sinker.
It's like perch fishing with a smell.
Yeah.
Wicked. Well, hopefully you can bag a few more, mate. Like I say, I've had one run this morning. As soon as I got up, recast my rods in, literally within about 30 seconds of me sitting down, it screamed off. I felt the fish for a couple of seconds, but I think it was just a small jack, really. It's not the sort of run I get off a bigger fish.
Like you said, though, we were sceptical about how many pike were in here. We weren't sure. Was there 500 fish in here? Because it's a big boat.
Of course, there was 2 lakes. There's one behind it. Well, there's more than 2 lakes, but
there's a lot of fish in here and a lot of jack pike. I mean, the fellow had a £20 yesterday, and I think maybe, but every other fish that he had, I think he had 5 in the end. All the others were. We didn't weigh them. They were jack pike salmon. We didn't weigh ours. I mean, I think the biggest I've had was 5 or 6 pounds.
no, I try not to weigh smaller fish now, unless I've got curiosity behind doing it. I try and just weigh the doubles now. I will photograph a little jack and stuff, obviously, because it's for the film, and film a little jack, but not every jack. But yeah, it's when it comes to weighing now, I just try and keep it for the larger fish, or at least the doubles. But we've got a couple of hours now, me and Keith. Keith's probably going to continue to do what he's doing. Hopefully we can.
I'm going to wind in the float ledger in a minute.
Will you recasting them?
I think I'm going to go for a wander.
What about putting one down the side here, Keith?
I had my dead base weighted both margins all night.
Oh right, you had them out all night in the margins, yeah?
I was probably 3 foot off the margins, yeah. Just off that first shelf. But, I mean, yesterday I had fish
Right under the rod tip, yeah.
right there.
Well, I was here when you had the 2 fish on the bounce. Hopefully I got the footage for that, so you guys can see it in the video, or have seen it already. I think, yeah, it's every time we come here we learn a little bit more, don't we, Keith? So we definitely need to come light next time when we do a day session. Come down here with maybe 1 rod.
But on the other sessions that we've been here, I've caught on float ledger like I did last time. So
Yeah.
well, float and and I've caught when I came last winter on dead bait whole mackerel ledgering. So
I think a lot of it's got to be the element of luck of what the pike taking at that precise moment, because like you say, they're taking all different methods, and you know, you can float fish, you can ledger, you know. I just think it's down to the pike to take when they're ready. But hopefully you can induce a few more. I'm going to jump back in my swim now because I'm getting a bit chilly, and start sort of packing away the small stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, if you look down there, all that ripple's off the water down there, and there's a lot of leaf litter because obviously playing in this way. We're going to try a few pegs down there later.
Right then, mate. Well, I'll leave you to it. Okay, so end of the session. Me and Keith have decided to cut it short today. He's just packing away his bivvy. We're packing our stuff away slowly, so we ain't got a rush. It's actually quite nice out at the moment. Blue skies are starting to come through. Would have been a really nice day to do some a day session, but because of the traffic coming through Maidstone yesterday, it was an absolute nightmare. So we got to pass through there on our journey. So some of the traffic lights are set off. So we decided we're going to call it short and we're going to head down now. Like I say, Keith, he's had a few knocks, lost a few fish. The fish are picking up and dropping his bait quite quickly, small jacks. So he's lost a few today, and I had that run this morning, like I say, and I just had a pike attack my float a minute ago. So lucky I've got those Pike Pros on now. I'm definitely sold on the Pike Pros, but eventually I'm going to use my own floats and see how I get on with those. Maybe on my local syndicate at some point. So yeah, sorry it's not been the best of videos, guys. Sometimes you just have those sessions where they're just not the greatest. A couple of fish were cool, and like I say, it's an interesting session with the pike fry feeding. It was such a great spectacle to watch. It wasn't just the odd one or two; it was loads. And it's come to sort of fruition that there's more pike in here that me and Keith expected there to be. We will be back down here probably end of January, I'd imagine. Not too sure if we'll fish here or fish another lake or around the back of other areas of this particular big lake we're fishing, the one in front of us. Like I say, we were on a spit, well, on a path between two lakes. There's one behind me, just there, and then obviously the one just there that we've been fishing. So yeah, I'm just packing my stuff down now. My face is all red and blotchy, but yeah, nothing really more to say in the conclusion, apart from I was going to say I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know if you did. It's not been the most entertaining, but it's been again another learning curve. You never stop learning, and it's good for Keith to see these kind of things. You know, you never stop learning, and Keith's learning. He's learning as he goes, and it's really good to see his journey. And he's done really well the last couple of days. I would say he's probably enjoyed it more than I have. I think I've whinged and moaned a little bit, and that's probably due to the fact that I'm not comfortable fishing winter nights in bivvies anymore. So I brought in my 2 ledgers, and I've got 1 float rod left out there. There's about 45 minutes to go before we want to be off. I mean, it shuts about 4, half 4, but we're going to leave about 2 o'clock, just so, like I say, we beat the traffic home. So I don't know when my next session will be. I'm back at work in a couple of days' time. I'm going to have a nice chill out weekend where I'm not going to do nothing at all, and then hopefully maybe be on my syndicate water, because I've still not done a session up there yet. So all that rushing around to get on there, and I still haven't done a session. But yeah, not to be. Saw a 20 pounder come out next to me yesterday. I think that disheartened me a little bit. It broke me inside a little bit, because obviously I'm so desperate to have one, and seeing someone else actually catch one next year, it does hurt. You know, but if anything, it spurred Keith on. But me, at the moment, I think it feels like it's never going to happen, and it's not for anybody else. It's more for me. You know, catching a 20 pounder it's for me. It's, you know, everybody. Well, a lot of people catch 20 pounders. They're still rare creatures, but you know, it depends on the venues you fish on. But I don't tend to fish too many venues where I get the chance to catch 20 pounders, let alone a 30. So yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like I say, make sure you comment in the comment section below. I'm sure there's going to be some nice comments from my loyal following, and probably a few haters, I'd imagine, as well. But it is what it is. Please like that thumbs button if not, and you didn't enjoy it. dislike it if you want to. It's all feedback for the channel. And yeah, make sure you subscribe if you did enjoy it and you do like what I do. There will be more tackle making videos coming in the new year as well. And yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification as well. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. You'll find the links in the comment section below, or just above the comment section. Look me up on Facebook, because I've got just as many followers on there than I have on YouTube, and I always give my latest updates on there. So not just mine, but I like to share the love and share other people's channels and that as well. But until I do the next Great British Pike Off live, unfortunately, I'm still not nowhere near Dominic's fish. But it is what it is. Anyway, tight line and dead baits, guys. I'll catch you all soon.